Okay, Nova, let's switch on over to you.
Yeah, so cool story. Financial hardship, absolutely not. He's gave me $40 for my gas tank. It takes 50, and we talked about.
Ma'am, you just shot yourself in the.
It's a gesture that matters.
You just shot
I don't
yourself.
care if he gave you $5.
Hey, what's poppin' YouTube? It's your boy KiteZz here with my lovely wife. It's just Alex.
What's up, peoples?
Hey guys, we dropped a little video yesterday about Lawan and Rhea and their new YouTube channel. Make sure you guys go support that. Today, we're gonna knock out the Reggie and Nova catch up with Arlette Amuli. You guys requested it yesterday. We told y'all it was coming out today, so it's coming out today. Anyway, also, big announcement. We are starting our Walking Dead Telltale series playthrough. We are recording it today. Episode 1 drops tomorrow. Now, a lot of people are saying like, oh, this content, you guys only do Pop the Balloon. You guys got to remember, we drop other types of content. It's just, if you guys don't watch it or at least click on it or push it, that content dies and the algorithm throws it out. So you guys are only seeing the Pop the Balloon stuff because this is the stuff that you guys are clicking on the most. You guys are not clicking on the other stuff we drop, which is fine. At the end of the day, if you guys like Pop the Balloon, we're gonna keep doing it. But to the people who are like, why don't y'all do other things? We try. It's just, yeah, nobody clicks it. So with the Walking Dead thing, if you guys really want us to do a full playthrough for the gamers in here, I know Pop the Balloon people, y'all don't care. Y'all can just skip past this. We need you guys to, when the video drops, we need you guys to like it. Click it, like it. You know, that way it helps push it out so that it at least shows us that this is what you guys want. If you guys don't want it, then let it die. But hopefully this is the doorway so we can start doing other stuff with you guys, because we want to expand on what we do, and we don't want you guys to just be our viewers. We're trying to establish a community with you guys. So that's what that is. But I've talked enough. The Discord is still down until we get rid of this little hacker situation we got, and you know, we're gonna move forward. Also, the Fraud Watch shirts, you already know, we told y'all yesterday, we're getting the hoodies
soon.
The hoodies should be coming in the mail soon, so you guys can see how the hoodies look on a big body and on a female. So, you know, but anyway, we talked too much. Let's get straight to it. Yo, this is the Reggie and Nova catch up with Arlette Amuli.
Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. It's your host Arlette and we are here today with Reggie and Nova. Welcome guys. How we feeling today? Okay.
Feeling great.
That's what we like to hear. So we did have you guys on episode 9 of Pop the Balloon or Find Love, where you ended up matching. Okay. So is it gonna be a yes for you for him?
Yes.
And is it a yes for you?
They don't even look the same.
We got it.
Well, no, they do.
Yeah, they do.
All right, I'll take this mic. You guys can go on off.
Yeah, he grabbed his soul.
Okay, and so on that episode, we did get to know a little bit about each of you, but you know, just to let the people know a little bit more, give them a little refresher. Nova, let's start with you. Tell us about yourself.
So, I'm born and raised in Arizona, and I have a 10-year-old daughter. I am an esthetician. I am in nursing school, and I've always been in healthcare. I've been in healthcare for about 11 years.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of been my go-to job. Like, every time I have, like, a little hustle or whatever, I always go back to the hospital.
Got it.
So I'm pretty big on that. I've done a lot of things. I used to model. I used to host clubs in different cities.
Okay.
I'm well traveled.
Yeah, you've done a lot.
I'm a pretty private person too. Like, this is kind of a new experience for me. Being so, everything used to be like party and go. And now it's like more personal. So I'm not used to disclosing a lot of information like this.
Yeah, I feel it on that one. Especially when you get into like social media. She went on that show. So I imagine there's a lot of people in her life right now, like prying. I feel like it's just because a lot of people get too attached online.
People don't respect boundaries.
Yeah.
Boundaries, they should be clear as day, even if somebody's not giving them to you. Like, if you wouldn't want somebody prying in your life to that degree that people do on social media or whatever the case may be, then don't do it to others.
Yeah.
So it's been a journey. I am very fast in a very different way.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
That's pretty much it. I'm definitely trying to get back into my modeling.
Okay.
Definitely about to get back on Instagram, go crazy. I don't know. I tried this because I literally felt like I was having bad luck finding relationships that would work for me. Yeah. Especially after my whole experience in the entertainment world.
Oh, wait. Matter of fact, that could be an overreaction because the entertainment world don't always mean what I think it means. So that could be an overreaction.
I feel like the word entertainment has a bad rap, period. Because when you think of entertainment, you think of the music industry, you think of the movie industry, you think of, like, those are the only two things that I think of considering entertainment, which there's more categories to specify as entertainment. Right. But those are the two major ones that's like,
Yeah, that could have been an overreaction. So entertainment. It's like normally when people say that, but the context of how she said it, it makes me think like, oh, adult. So it's like, okay. But I give her the benefit of the doubt.
Especially after my whole experience in the entertainment world. I had a partner and he ended up passing away.
Oh,
yeah. So we were kind of like on our Bonnie and Clyde stuff. So when that kind of dissipated, I kind of got out of it because it wasn't fun anymore. So I just kind of started changing my life, but dating has been hard ever since.
Yeah. That's what I've heard.
It's been hard. So I kind of came into this like, I told you, I was like, I didn't even know that I was going to get on the show.
Yeah,
like,
you did say that.
I just winged it. And my mom was like, yeah, like, what do you have to lose? Like, what are you doing right now? And I'm like, oh, I guess, like, it'll be an experience. I might meet someone. And so I came on the show and I was like, at first I was like, okay, this is crazy. It was like speed dating on crack. Okay, unscripted. Everything was just wild. And it was like going from like the super private person to being like on blast, like in a different way. It was wild. Yeah, it was wild. It was a good experience, but it was wild.
Okay, all right. Get to know you a little bit, Nova. Now, Reggie, what about for yourself?
So pretty much just about me. So like I said on the show, I do motivational music. Something I've been working on. Financial literacy, teach people about, repairing their credit, start passive income, things like that. Okay. And overall, just I like to consider myself a fun guy. Okay. You know what I mean? Like I said on the show about experiences, it's not what you do, it's who you with. You do the same thing that you do with the right, you do the same thing you do regularly, but with the right person, you can make it a fun time. You know what I mean? Right. So I'm definitely, when it comes to that, that's me. You know what I mean? So I'm all about kind of like experience. I have like goofy sides about me, a business side. It's all about, following your dreams, following your goals, and experiencing life with finding a life partner ultimately.
Okay, nice.
Right.
All right. So Reggie, as we saw on the show, one of the questions you actually ended up asking Nova when we brought her up to the front was like, what are some of your vices? Where did that question come from?
Yes. So since you're asking about me and I didn't mention that. So after high school, I became a professional gamer. Oh. And so like for me, like I said, I had questions that I had kind of pre-planned. Like I wanted to ask these questions. Really only got to ask one, and then they kind of was asking me questions. And then when we got to the front, and then when she hit me with the smooth line, like, well, I want to talk to you privately, you know. So after that, I was like, you know, I obviously want to match with her, right? But I wanted to be kind of transparent. It's one thing that I look forward within myself, that I'm, you know, preach within myself. So I wanted to make sure that was known to her, because I didn't want something to happen where it's like, oh, he plays video games. You know what I mean? Because it's like a stigma. It's like, is it a childish thing? Is it or not? Personally, I believe, you know, you can be any age. It's a good vice. You know that your guy is in the house. But let's get into deep. So.
Okay.
Yes.
No, that's fine.
I respect it.
Yeah, I believe that transparency is the most important thing in a relationship. Plus, I wanna make sure, because people use the word vices a lot. So, a vice, immoral or wicked personal characteristics. Okay. So I want to, I always like to look it up or make sure I clarify my understanding of it. So yeah. So what are your vices? What are you things that you think are like immoral, wicked characteristics about yourself? So, okay. So for him, it's video games because he went professional with it. That's his vice.
Yeah. I could see how it can become that.
Yeah.
Only because, some people go too deep with it. I can understand him going in it as like a professional or career and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
But if you look at how influential the gaming industry is,
yes,
sometimes people will embody the things that they see in games. Just like GTA. I don't know if a lot of y'all had kids that played GTA. I hope y'all didn't, but there was a reason why kids couldn't play GTA, because they were imitating those things.
Yeah,
so
people are crashing out for sure.
But we played video games ourselves. I was never a gamer until I got with him. I never thought it was childish or anything like that. But my only thing was, and it's not him specifically, my only thing was prioritize your business and your life first. Don't ever put a game before anything else, because the game will always be there. You won't.
Right. Okay. I've rocked with that.
In this case, I wanted just to make it known that was a thing for me. Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, she gave the perfect response, and it's just like, yeah.
Yeah. And so, Nova, are video games like a big part of your life, or
big part of my life? I never was a professional. I never was like a professional. Mm-hmm. But I've been playing video games for as long as I can remember. Like, I never made it like a hobby or like a job. Mm-hmm. But even my daughter, my mom plays. We have like 3 PlayStations at the house. Yeah, we have like
the mama.
Yeah, so
shout out to PlayStation.
Okay,
my mom has bought every console that has came out since I've been alive, and she'll buy it even if I don't want it. She'll still buy it because my mom is the type of person. She's like, I'll never want my child to ever look up and want something that he sees another child have when I have the ability to get it myself. So, my mom, hey, shout out to my mama. I love you.
I never made it like a profession, but yeah, I play video games. I have my favorites. Like, okay. Reggie was definitely going to show me like more, like deeper into it. And I was definitely all game for it. But yeah, I have my favorites. Okay. But yeah, I wouldn't call myself a gamer, but I do play video games.
Okay. Yeah. Has that ever been, because I know he kind of mentioned.
Oh, Reggie has something to say. He has something to say.
Maybe someone could find it childish or whatever it is. Has that ever been a problem for you?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, come on. Yeah.
Okay, nice. Now, Reggie, has that ever been a problem for you in any past relationships?
It has, actually. It actually has. Like I said, it's that stigma. Like, is it a childish thing? Is it, like I said, it's I think it's 50-50. Like, even like if I've seen some reactions, some people were saying, oh, that's great. Or some people like, you know what I mean? So for me, it is who I am. You know what I mean? And like I said, when I was answering one of those questions, like, you have to be comfortable being who you are. Mm-hmm. So I don't shy away from it. It's like, I wanted to show Nova like who I am, and then have her match with me off the pretense like, this is this guy. He's not gonna change and be something else. You know what I mean?
I respect
and just when a quick aside, Nova says she's not a gamer. Amazing gamer. She will beat you all in Fortnite. I promise you.
Okay. A lot of practice.
All right, girl. You got to show them how it's done.
Sometimes, right?
Yeah, I respect it. It's more than... I respect gamers because now it's like, it's more than just playing a game. It's more of...
You can make a career out of it now.
Not even just make a career out of it. It's the appreciation for the development of the game itself. That's why a lot of games, Black Ops keeps coming out and all this other kind of stuff, Destiny, whatever. You know, all these other stuff that people like. But yeah, it's the appreciation for the game itself. It's a lot that goes into creating a game.
Yeah.
He went to college for gaming animation.
He game made development. I went to college
development.
For I was going to be a developer.
So you made your first like sharpshooter, Flappy Bird, and all that kind of stuff. So that stuff, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah, it did. I made my first shooter game, Flappy Bird. I had to make a clone of that, all that stuff. Yeah, it's a lot.
So I know a question that's just been on everyone's mind, because I know most people love that you guys are able to kind of vibe and connect on the gamer thing. So let me cross my fingers and hope you guys answer this question how the whole world wants. But since you match on the show, has there been a date?
Okay.
I'm about to say it.
Well, before she says it, y'all put in the comments, do y'all think they went out? Yes or no? I think yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Tell me about it, Nova.
So, during the show, I was in transition between jobs. Mm-hmm. So I was actually off for 2 weeks, and I believe Reggie was too. Like, we both were transitioning. Mm-hmm. And so we kind of spent a lot of time together the first couple weeks. And we went to the first night with the other couple, mm-hmm. Brittany and
Philip.
Uh-huh. Yeah, with Brittany and Philip, we went, we didn't go with them, but we ended up running into them mm-hmm. at the Champagne Lane.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I wanted to play.
Boy, that was an interesting conclusion. If y'all ain't seen our reaction to their follow-up, it's on the channel.
Like, I wanted to play games, so I actually wanted to take him to Cobra, mm-hmm. which is an arcade bar.
Okay.
I absolutely love. Like, they have all the old games, the Tetris, like, what? Yeah, it was good, but it was too packed, so we ended up going to Champagne Lanes, and that's how we ended up running into them. So that was like, it wasn't a date, but it was kind of like, okay, we matched. Let's see what, let's talk more. And then after that, we end up going to Cobra. Mm-hmm. I think it was like during the week when it wasn't as busy. Mm. And we actually had a good time, like a really good time. Okay. It was fun.
Okay. Yeah. So the going to Cobra was kind of like the official first date?
Yeah, that was the official first date.
Okay. And how soon after the show was that?
Probably the next day.
Oh, okay. And you know what? I like that, because get to it. Y'all match. Get to it. Start your date. Mm-hmm. Some of them people, we've seen some of them, we going to do it next week. Well, we were supposed to do it the next week, but they didn't reach back out to me. Y'all gotta, if y'all catch a fish, man, reel it in. Don't let the fish just swim away and just sit there. Start reeling it in.
I want to know what is a date? What determines a date? Because they said they went out to the club, but that wasn't a date. So what is it?
I think they're saying that a date is the official, like, one-on-one. Because I don't know. So somebody
just asking.
Yeah, somebody explain. What is considered a date? I think a date is considered you just being out with the person and you guys doing something, and you guys are the focus of whatever you guys are doing. So yeah, friends can be there, but if the attention is directly focused on you and the other person, the majority of the time, I consider that a date. Is that stupid?
That's what we like to hear. Y'all wasted no
time. He actually let me go home after the show to change, because I was like so nervous, sweating. It was crazy. So I was like, please, can I go home? Like, and he definitely let me go home and change. So that we end up, like, if you see the picture, like, I'm in a whole nother outfit.
Yeah.
I was like, no, let me go change. So yeah, I was just really nervous from the show. So we had a good time, but we waste no time. We didn't waste no time.
Okay. So Reggie, how was everything for you after the show?
Yeah, she hit it on the head. She hit it on the head. So as soon as after the show, so even before the last person came out, we left. I was like, hey, let's go on a date. Let's go out. So we was she actually had that great idea. She was like, well, why don't we said with like gamers, let's go to the arcade. Mm-hmm. I was like, arcade bar? Never heard of that. So we went there. But yeah, super packed, couldn't get in there. Went to Champagne Lanes. We seen my man Philip and his match there. That's when we did that group picture that y'all seen. And then yeah, we did want to bowl, but it's kind of like how it was set up. We wouldn't have been able to bowl. So then we was like, okay, for the next day, let's go to the arcade bar. Yeah. Played all the arcade games, got some drinks. After that, we didn't want the night to end. Went to Dave and Buster's.
Oh, okay. So, she really played that game. She really played that game.
Yeah. So we definitely was being true to who we were, talking, getting to know each other. It was definitely great moments.
Okay. So you guys went from one arcade place to the next.
Yes.
Wow.
Definitely. Yes, sir.
A long night.
And then, so, after that, like, how was the communication? And, like, I know you guys said you both had kind of like a 2 weeks off. So how was that?
Yeah, we were pretty much together almost every day after that.
Okay.
It was, we were together pretty much every day after that.
Okay.
Even for just a little bit, like a couple hours out of the day. But yeah, it was pretty much every day after that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. You guys did a lot of like fun things, like, or was it more like chill vibes?
Well, he was getting ready for work, so he was just, I did a couple ride-alongs.
Oh.
Okay.
I'm chilling.
Yeah. Just as long as you're spending time together kind of thing, right?
Yeah. I don't ask for much.
So how were the ride-alongs? Like, did you invite her, or she was like, "I'm coming"? Like,
no. I definitely was. Well, I invited her, and then but she was down to come, so it was like it was 50-50 with it. So yeah, it was like. So we did the 2 dates. Then it was like, hey, you're a dope person. I'm a dope person. I want you in my company. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And like I really wanted to make it a point to kind of be intentional with how I was moving, be purposeful. So I was like, hey, I mean, I'm feeling it. You're feeling it. I got to go check this office out. Come with me. She helped me put tables and chairs in my office. We really was definitely tag team dynamic and duo in it outside. On
That's
that
cool.
Time. So yeah, it definitely was just great moments. We just was with each other every day basically.
Yeah. For like 2 weeks. Yeah.
Wow. Sure. Okay. And then after the 2 weeks, how was everything? Like.
Well, we started talking about our past. Well, my past, and I still know very little about Reggie.
Oh.
Even though we spent a lot of time together, I wasn't able to get all the questions I wanted answered.
Okay.
Yeah. So it got hard because it was more focused on me and like what I've been doing and what my life was and more about that. And I was like, I
don't like that.
What?
I don't like that.
Expand.
I don't like the fact that people, it's like one-sided.
Oh, okay.
It's one-sided. Like, if you want to know everything that's been happening between her and her past and all that kind of stuff,
you got to share.
You got to be forthcoming of that too.
Yeah.
It's just like it's not your right to be like, well, I'm gonna see how many bodies and all that kind of stuff she got or what she been doing in the past, and I'm not gonna share nothing with her because it's really not about me. It's about her because I'm courting her type stuff.
And we're not saying he did that.
Yeah, I'm not saying he did that, but
yeah, we don't know how the conversation went, but I do agree. I feel like if you gotta air out your skeletons in your closet, I gotta air out mine. But it's better for y'all both to do it so that y'all both don't get blindsided. I would hate for me if Alex had went to jail for murder, but she was, acquitted. I still need to know. It's like
I've been arrested before, but I ain't went to jail.
Yeah, so it's like I still need to know. Me, she already know. I ain't done nothing. I was a church boy. I ain't done nothing. I've been outside, but like I ain't got caught for nothing either though. So
you're a thug. Be quiet.
I'm not a thug. Chill out.
I healed from it. I grew up. I'm 30 years old. I wasn't into in the entertainment world for like 6 years now. So it was kind of like, get over it. But at the same time, I understood, like, as a man, he wanted to know, like, all the ins and outs of it.
Yeah.
And so I was very open, very transparent about everything. But it just got to a point where it was like, he couldn't let it go. And then at one point, he did tell me that I lacked confidence. So that was a problem for me because it was like, you don't know me. Yeah. Like, how can you say that I lack anything if you haven't even gave me a chance? to show you like who I am or what I'm capable of. Like when you show confidence, like I went on a show, didn't know anybody there, like, you know, like not even, this is not my cup of tea. Like I like to meet people old fashioned, like grocery store, gas station, even out at the bar, like not on a dating show, you know? So I was like, what? Like, so that kind of threw me back. And it was like
years.
Yeah, it just got real messy towards the end of everything.
I feel her on that one, because it's like, to say that about me and you don't know me, that does, you know, I feel like a lot of people forget, like, you're seeing things from your perspective, but you don't know how the other person's experiencing it or seeing it. And that's why I say empathy is important, because there could be certain habits to show, like, oh, you may in that moment think, oh, you're not confident, but they're not confident to your standard. Because like she said, in her mind, she's doing things in her mind that symbolize confidence for her. Going on the show, being out in public, being able to experience people. We got to also remember that certain milestones or achievements or words have different values to different people. And we forget that, and sometimes we project it. Like, I did that a lot. In our early relationships, because I was so heavy set on, if you're a Christian, it's this, it's this, it's this, it's this. But then I met a lot of Christians who I would say they're better than me. And they hold it to a different value, but their representation, when I looked at how I was thinking it versus how they were presenting it, they were demonstrating more Christ-like qualities than I was. They were doing the part that Christ said to do that I wasn't doing. And I was doing it wrong. And I had to humble myself, and I had to get humility in that situation. But it's okay to have an opinion. Have your opinions all you want, but don't force label on people, especially if you don't know them.
Yeah. Okay. And now, I know you said it was really like a lot focused on you. Like, were you asking him questions and he wasn't answering it, or like?
Yeah, he's the king of deflection.
Oh.
He's king of deflection. Yeah. So, and he owns it. Like he knows. So, hey, okay. I mean, it was something that was like, this is me, you know, and I was like, oh well. We were having so much fun. Why didn't you come sooner?
Yeah.
It was kind of one of those things for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Reggie? What's going on, Mr. King of Deflection?
So pretty much the quote unquote like problem started was we did have a conversation. Like I said, we spent a lot of time with each other. So we was having like deep conversations, not just like surface level, like past the surface level, like we really was getting
past
deep.
The cervix.
And so pretty much
you can clearly tell he misfumbled the word. You are so extra.
Terribly.
Yeah, he
terribly.
Surface, cervix, they're not far apart words.
Yeah, they are. Go ahead, continue.
She was saying,
get
like,
your mind out the gutter, gang.
Like, what did you think? Like, you know, how like, did you know you was gonna match with me? You know, we just kind of talking. And it was like a thing. It was like, tell me about, like we was talking. It's kind of like, tell me some things. You know what I mean? It's like, it was not just like, you're not confident. Like, we actually was having a conversation. Okay. And I said that. You know what I mean? I just said it. It was like, yeah, I think you can be more confident. And that was our like first big argument. But like I also said in the show, I'm big on communication, I'm big on conversation. So we talked through it. It definitely was kind of early on. So, you know, it might have turned her off a little bit, but I was kind of happy that we went through that, because it's like, if we're getting through this hard stuff now, then it's roses and flowers at the end. You know what I mean? So it's like, we went.
Hold on.
Look at her face.
Yep,
then it's roses and flowers at the end. You know what I mean?
Baby, what roses you finna be sniffing?
Oh boy, here we go, man. Here we go.
So it's like, we went through that. We talked through it. It was a tough talk, but we got through it. And then that pretty much was the theme. It was like, whatever a hard conversation is, like she said, with the past, we had a hard conversation about that as well. And that was something that I haven't experienced before, so it was difficult for me. So I like sought counsel for that. You know what I'm saying? I talked to my best friend, talked to female friends. Shout out BM. He helped me with counsel as well with that.
Shout out Arlette and BM, man. BM is her husband. He's also a great artist. Shout out to them.
Oh yeah, and then I got over it, and but it's like basically more specific, like she's saying, being in like the entertainment world. Like I've never talked to someone, who did that before. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I was even going so much to the point where I was getting counsel from her. Like, hey, how did you have you gone through this before? You know what I mean? So I was being true to who I was as far as like trying to have the communication part at a high level. But it's just like something that I kind of learned from. I might be jumping the gun a little bit, but something I kind of learned from it is like, if someone is like has like past trauma, something like this, it's like you have to tread lightly when you're talking to them. And because like I'm just telling you, like I'm big on communication, so it might seem like I'm poking a bear, but I'm really trying to learn you to figure out how I can love you better. You know what I mean? Okay. So but if I'm triggering something and not realizing it, and it just seems like I'm antagonizing, you feel like you're defending yourself every day. Then
you
like
telling her she's not confident is not treading lightly whatsoever.
Well, you got to remember he did say that they were having a conversation. Yeah. And he said it.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. So again, I feel like we can't judge that based off of, we don't know how exactly the conversation went. Because it could have been that they were going back and forth and she's like, well, why do you keep asking? Or why do you blah, 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 blah. It's like, oh, because it doesn't seem like you're very confident in your answer. It doesn't seem like you're confident. Because if that's how the conversation went, then it's not as severe. Now, if he was just like, I'm gonna just say it, bro. You're not confident, bro, and then that's a big difference. Context matters. You know what I'm saying?
Hindsight, I can see how it looked from her perspective, but in that moment, I was just like, "You're hiding stuff from me." You know what I mean? So it's like,
okay, so if he was crashing out, then you're 100% right. So that's why, context matters. So the truth is gonna come out either way.
I have to take responsibility for that as well.
Okay. So she's saying, you got to know her and all that stuff, but she didn't really get much out of you. Like, what was the reasoning for that? Like, why didn't you open up, I guess?
Why didn't you share your information?
So it's not like a thing of like, I'm not opening up, like I'm an open book. You can tell like communication is good for me. But it's like we were I would say I was so focused on that part that is like I couldn't get past it. You know what I mean? For a minute, like I said, I was talking to people, even talking to her to figure out like, hey, like I don't know what the past is looking like. Like I don't know if something like, is she really telling me the truth type stuff. But like I said, the beauty of it, when you have a conversation with your partner, you can get over. So I was working towards getting over those things, and I was getting over those things, I feel. But I think possibly the damage was done already, where it's like, you got over it, but I'm not. And, and then she wasn't feeling it.
I don't think he got over it. Okay. I really don't. This kind of like, once it was out there, it dragged the whole month. Like we really just stopped talking like a week ago. Wow. So it never stopped. And then as far as like trauma, like I don't have trauma of my past. Like I've grown from it. Like I said, this was 6 years ago. I would hope that I've grown from it. Like, so it's kind of like to have someone come into your life and not know you and then call it a trauma or say that you're lacking in confidence, or when you've done all these crazy wonderful things that a lot of people are afraid to do. It's like, what? Like, who are you talking to? Like, you're not talking to me. Yeah. Like, I'm a confident person. I'm just a private person. I'm a calm person. So a lot of people don't know how to accept that. So when they see me, it's always, I gotta be doing something, or I gotta, but that's not the case. Like, when I was in the entertainment world, I did have a partner. I didn't have to do any of the extra crazy stuff that a lot of other women do. I never dabbled in drugs.
Okay. Well, I know we paused it, but it's just...
It's a lot to unpack right there.
It is a lot to unpack. So I do get what she's saying about, like, who are you to say this about this and all that. And I do get it. If he did harbor on it for too long and you were getting turned off by it, that's understandable. But then let's break it down to the reality of it, though, right? Because if you guys would have gotten to a point where you guys get married and you guys would have pushed this on and had kids and all that, there's still repercussions for your past that are going to pop up. The internet is forever. And the reality is you're an adult star. Even if you only did it with one person, that's perfectly fine. No shaming on people that, I hope you guys get out of it, but I'm not going to shame you while you're in it. I'm going to love you and say, I pray you get out of it. But you're not thinking about it from his perspective. One, he has never been in a relationship with adult entertainer. So for one, this is brand new to him. And two, you're not understanding he may have a stigma or a dislike towards that thing. He may think it's immoral. This could be conflicting with his moral compass. So now, because we don't know how he's raised, but if he's raised with a certain standard of like how people are supposed to be in like decency and stuff like that, it's not one of those things where you can just say, well, my past is my past. You need to get over it. Because what happens if you guys go on a dinner date and there's a dude that was a fan of your videos? He comes up like, oh, ain't you blah, 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 blah. Oh, I used to watch your videos. You used to go crazy, girl. You used to. How is that supposed to make him feel sitting there knowing that this random guy is a super fan of watching my wife? You get me? You're not thinking about the mental things that are coming with it. If he has a kid with you and your kids go to high school, one thing about high school kids are the most brutal kids ever. Trey Rags made a video, the content creator made a video. It was a joking video, but it was also super serious of what it's like knowing that your mother is an OnlyFans star. And every time that kid got into a conflict or he got into a conversation or he felt like it was time to defend himself, what was the first thing everybody clapped back at him at? Hey, is this your mom? This your mom right here. You talking to me, but this your mom on this screen? Matter of fact, I'm about to go subscribe to your mom right now. Like, you feel me? So it's like there's a lot to unpack there. It's not simply in 6 years is not a crazy amount of time. I can see if you did it in the early 2000s and you was on like some Kim K energy. But 6 years, it's like, bro, the internet, you did it while the internet was like literally at its peak. We don't know how popular you got, but you're disqualifying all these factors in it. You got anything to say? All right, y'all. I'm sorry I went on a rant, but we gotta look at it from his perspective. Like, that's crazy.
I didn't have to cope with anything. Like, where there was a mission and that was all there was to it. And so explaining that to him, he wasn't understanding that. It just was like, no, that's not true. That's not true. And then it was like, well, I'm an eligible bachelor. Why would I settle for someone with your past? Oh. So it's like you're taking these jabs.
So he said this.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So it's like you're taking these jabs, but you want me to just be like, oh, it's fine. Let's move on. But it's like, how can I be with someone that sees me in such a negative way and not even letting me like show him who I am, or what I can do or what I offer. Like, I am a soldier. Like, I will go tooth and nail for my man. So it's like, for someone to just come into my life that is asking me all these questions, I'm being very open about everything. Like, everything. Like, I showed him my OnlyFans. Oh, girl, showed it to him.
So you have an active OnlyFans right now too? When did OnlyFans start popping off? Let me see. When did it take off? It took off during the pandemic, which is 4 years ago. So you have an active OnlyFans. So this is not 6 years ago. You're still in it. You're still in it. 6 years ago was 2018, right? 2018, you were doing adult films, right? If you stopped 6 years ago, then you stopped in 2018. OnlyFans took off in the pandemic, which is 2019, 2020. You were still active in it. And if you still have your OnlyFans up, you're still participating. As long as you're still making revenue and stuff off of it, you're still actively participating in it. And look at Arlette's face. That's the disconnect from reality. Even the person you're trying to plead your argument to is looking kind of like, hey, yo. I don't know.
Like, I showed him my OnlyFans.
Oh,
girl, showed it to him. And he was like, oh, that's not even that bad. Okay. Yeah, because I've never been that girl. I never had to go the extra mile.
Okay.
And he couldn't accept the fact that I didn't have to do all that to get where I wanted to be. So it's kind of like it was like he was stuck in a stigma, or like
this is a lot, bro.
Stereotype. And it's just like, I'm a multifaceted woman. Like, I'm educated. I have my associate's degree. I'm working on my bachelor's degree. I hustle. Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's like, if that's not something that you're okay with, then I'm not for you. Because at the end of the day, if you're not gonna put me in a place to win, I'm gonna go put myself in a place to win.
Okay.
I'm going to give you guys an example of why all these achievements, they matter, but that negative thing is still going to be a factor, okay? There's a wrestler in WWE named Rey Mysterio. He is my favorite wrestler. He is one of the greatest wrestlers of all times, one of the greatest luchadors of all times. He has a phenomenal record. He has a phenomenal everything. One of the greatest of all times. Rey Mysterio is also one of the nicest, kindest people of all times. But there's a situation when Rey Mysterio was wrestling in Mexico. There was a man that had a condition. But even though the man was told he shouldn't do the wrestling match with Rey Mysterio, he still did it. As you guys know, wrestling is a performance. Meaning that both wrestlers are telling each other, I'm going to do this. This is how you're going to respond. It's a dance. It's a play. Rey Mysterio went for his signature move, the 619. When the wrestler was supposed to take the cell to do the 619, he hit the ropes too hard and he died. The wrestler died. Everybody at that time, even though the wrestler's family even said it wasn't Rey Mysterio's fault, that he had this condition, it wasn't Rey Mysterio's fault. People still, when you look up to this day, and you can even look up articles, people still call Rey Mysterio a murderer and say that he killed a man. Right? I said all that to say, even if you didn't do the craziest things, the most risque things as an entertainer, and you've also got your degree, you're a successful businesswoman, you saved orphans in a fire. That, by the way, I also did adult films. It's gonna stay.
Because the way the world is set up is the world is built to pick at your
flaws.
They'll never. You could be a humanitarian. You could be somebody that gives out to the community. You could be somebody that feeds the homeless.
Yeah.
You could be someone that you could have saved an elderly woman from a burning fire.
Yep.
They will still look at your flaws and pick that over anything that you've done positive in your life. So.
Yep. And just so y'all know, I'm not just talking out my mouth. Oh, they took it off. Yep, Rey Mysterio caught a body. Wrestler Perro Agoya Jr. dies after a match with Rey Mysterio after he snapped his neck with a dropkick mistake, and now Rey Mysterio's in court. Agoya died instantly from a cardiac arrest after fracturing 3 vertebrae. It's going to be attached to Rey Mysterio for the rest of his life. Even though he didn't even he didn't do it intentionally, it was a performance. But it happens.
So it's just, yeah, that never ended. It never ended. It was just, it got to a point where I was like, every time he was like, I got to talk to you about something, I would be like, let me sit down. Oh. Yeah, so it was just like the icing on the cake. That was pretty much it. Like, I just can't be with someone that can't let me grow past where I've already grown from. Like, You're taking me back to where I've came, like, I don't need to go backwards. I need to go forward. So that's kind of where I was at with that.
Okay. So when you speak about like you were in the entertainment world and things like that, I know you mentioned OnlyFans. Is that something you're doing now?
No.
Oh, that was like back then.
Yeah,
okay. And
not even back then. Like sometimes I think the last one was probably like back in April that I dropped like a little 3-minute video of me just dancing. So
you're still in it. It doesn't matter if you're showing, you know why your audience is there. You know why your audience is there. They're not subscribed to you because they think you're just the funniest person on the planet. They subscribe to you because they know you from, you're that chick that did that scene with that one dude. You're that chick that's been showing off this from that one scene. It doesn't matter how you put you put more and more clothing on and you stop doing teases and now you're just doing casual. They're still there because they're operating in lust. That's why they're your fans. And you just did it in April. So now it's not in your past. You're still actively in it. Am I going off or it's a lot, huh? I'm sorry for pausing. It's unfortunate.
That's what I did. I was just dancing on there. Like I went virtual with my entertainment, with my dancing, but I never showed, like I never went full nude or anything like that. So it was just kind of like boudoir, just little stuff. Like not, I mean, some people might say that's not little stuff.
I wouldn't know.
But it wasn't.
It sounds like a French word. It's probably when they dance in lingerie.
You know, so it was. I showed it to him. I was a dancer for about.
I don't know how to spell it.
4 or 5 years. During that time, I was in a relationship, so that's when I was like doing the whole Bonnie Clyde. Yeah, I was trying to do everything. I was trying to do it all. And yeah, when my partner died, I didn't find it fun anymore. I felt like it was a lot more vultures out there than I was used to because I didn't have to deal with none of that stuff. Yeah. So I just kind of let it go. You know, like I didn't feel like it fit me anymore. So I let it go. And plus, at the time, I was a single mom. So my daughter, I think she was like about 5 years old when I stopped dancing. She was starting to go to kindergarten. And I was like, well, I can't do this with her. Like, no, like it's not gonna work anymore. Like when she was a kid, it was easy because it was like, okay, she sleep at night, I drop her off, sit her, go to work, come back, she didn't even know I was gone, you know. But now it's like I gotta take her to school, I gotta, like, I have, my responsibility list grew. So I was just like, okay, I can't now, you know. I got my dance back in the corner, she's trying to put on my heels. I'm like, oh no. So it just stopped being fun for me anymore. It just started being like, okay, so what type of woman do you want to be? So that's when I was like, okay, I sticked with my modeling for a little bit. And even with that, it was like, I just didn't have the heart for it anymore. Like I just didn't, I started bullshit and I missed appointments and all that. Like it just stopped being fun.
Okay.
Like,
all right. And now Reggie.
All right. So first off, I don't know who uses the word eligible or bachelor together, but I did not say those words.
You definitely did.
But
don't interrupt him. He ain't said nothing.
I will say this, just with everything she just said. For me, so yes, I never talked to a dancer before. Dancer, that means, you know, when push come to shove, she knows how to get to the cheese. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm about my money and things like this. So I feel like it's something that we could have kind of worked through. We did work through. And I know she was saying like it seemed like you were still stuck there. I wasn't still stuck there. And because the communication is so high for me, as she knows, like there literally was nothing that we couldn't talk about, right? So even the part of like, I didn't know him, it's because like questions wasn't asked. But any question that would have been asked, I would answer it. You know what I mean? And also as far as kind of things that was going on with us, this isn't just, when I say we were together like every day for like 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it was, it wasn't just like, we're just laying up, like, you know what I mean? Like I was, like I said, showing her that I'm a man that can lead and doing things for whatever she needed. Hey, I don't know if I'm gonna make it to work, fill up your gas tank, you know what I mean? I'm going through a financial hardship, cool, we can make some passive income together. This is how we can do it. If you need your credit fixed, we can go through things like this. Like I was giving her the blueprint of everything we could potentially do, a TikTok, a YouTube channel. Like I was giving her the blueprint of like
fast.
Y'all was moving way too fast.
Y'all was moving real fast.
I think it's people are so excited to finally get in the dating thing that when they finally get it, they just they want to speed through it because they don't want to be alone.
Because my opinion, 2 weeks. I mean, y'all are adults at the end of the day. 2 weeks back to back spending time with each other so soon in a dating sector of your relationship or whatever. I kind of feel like that's OD.
Yeah.
We can do all these things together. Like I was leading and moving intentful. And the big thing for me, for her, is I said, no matter what we go through, we can have a conversation about it. Every single thing we went through, when we had a conversation about it, we're able to get over it. Mm-hmm. But if I'm getting blocked and I can't even hit her up and things like this, how you're blocking my superpower? You know what I mean? And I don't say my superpower, but my thing of like, if we're going through these hard things early, we're gonna get through. And then, a lot of people, they'll meet each other. It's all bliss and roses. And then like 6 months down the line, it's like, you wasn't that person. Then they stop. The thing about me, like, this is Reggie. You know what I mean? Like, if you like me now, you love me later.
That can happen at any point in time. The longevity of it don't really matter. That can happen right now in our marriage. You could be with somebody every single day of your life and still not know the person. And it's not because the person is not being forthcoming with the truth.
It just ain't came up.
It ain't came up, or you ain't asked the right questions, or it hasn't presented itself. Anything that's hidden in the dark will come to the light, but that can happen at any stage in your life.
Right.
Okay. If you don't like me now, you won't like me later, but at least you can say that man was himself. Okay. He didn't wait for 2 months down the line. He didn't wait if I was wrapped around his finger. He didn't wait for me to say no. He was already him. And she felt that. You know what I mean? So the fact that that's when I said it was trauma, because there's no way everything we went through, we was able to talk through it. And then you just like a breaking point where it's like she started saying some wild things like, well, I'm about to just get someone to pay my rent. And it's like, you're not even believing in the plans that I'm setting for us. Like, we have plans.
No, wait a minute. You gotta let him finish.
And this is another thing. If you know the truth and you're confident in your truth, right?
Listen to all the accusations first before you lay it out.
Yep, before you just thunder it out.
I just want you to believe in what we got going on. Like, it's too many people who want to see us win, including yourself, including BM. Yeah. I was even seeking counsel from both of y'all. Like, oh, what you think of how we do it this weekend? And it's like, everyone believed in the vision except her. And I get it. Sometimes if you're going through like financial hardship, things like this, everyone's going through there. You're not yourself, what have you. But because I was leading, because I had plans every step of the way, it's just unfortunate to me that she didn't believe enough in everything that I was showing her. I was not just talking. These are like everything I'm saying right now. It was all in the play. We sat down for like an hour or whatever it was. Like, hey, this is how we do a Shopify. You know what I'm saying? Like all these things. So it's just like,
I see what he's saying.
What do you mean?
I see what he's saying. He was trying to show her different avenues to make passive income and make money outside of what she's used to. Even though she says she does not partake in it anymore, because the lifestyle that she lived in the way that she made money is ingrained in her. She doesn't see the problem with it. She doesn't see the shame that can come with it. She doesn't see the consequences that can come with it later on down the line. He was trying to show her like, hey, I know you're used to making money this way, but if this is your last resort, let me show another last resort that you can do to make money outside of doing that.
So the interpretation is he was trying to help her, but because he also was, going through his motions, it came off as more offensive to her than that he was helping her.
So now I can understand why he said you're not confident, because it could he's basically saying like, you're not confident in the fact that there's other ways to make money. There's other ways to have the lifestyle that you want to have or achieve while doing X, Y, and Z instead of doing what you're used to doing. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, like,
I can see how she took it the wrong way.
Yeah, I can see how she took it the wrong way.
Yeah.
And it reminded me, I'm kind of long-winded, but she asked me the question, like, how do you deal with conflict? And I said that answer is like, give your grace and don't go to sleep early. But I should have returned that question, because she doesn't handle conflict well. She's like, run away. And it's like, we got through so much. Why you want to run away now? Like, beyond the show, you know what I mean? Like, it got to the point where it's like, how do we meet? Because like, it was just so genuine and so real. Yeah. It's like, oh shoot, the show, you know what I mean? So it's like, it was real for me. It basically is what I'm getting at. So me going through, you was a dancer? I don't know about that. I don't like, hey, give us some advice. You know what I mean? Like it was real for me when I was trying to work through it. You know what I'm saying? So that part the other type of definitely was hurting for a bit. And you know, like if a woman blocks you, it's literally the worst thing you can do to a dude. It's like, I'm not saying like, yeah, I was definitely hurt by it, but it's like, because you feel like you can't talk, like call me a B, like call me, you know what I'm saying? Do something. Like don't just block me that I can't talk to you. Then it's like, I'm fighting with myself. Then should I text her? Should I not? You know what I mean? It's like, well, you can't text us, you blocked, right? Yeah. But so I was definitely going through it. And that's probably the only good thing. I was trying to look for the positive of things. Like I've been working on doing my own stuff, like getting back consistent with posting and stuff like that. So I was going through that, and that helped me to kind of thrive to get to where I am now. But I definitely was hurt by, you know what I'm saying, her actions, for sure.
Okay, Nova, let's switch on over to you.
Yeah, so cool story. Financial hardship, absolutely not. He's gave me $40 for my gas tank. It takes $50, and we talked about.
Oh, ma'am, you just shot yourself.
It's a gesture that matters.
You just shot yourself.
I don't care if he gave you $5. He didn't have to give it to you. We gotta stop walking around with the sense of entitlement because we're women or because we're the ones that are to be courted and all that kind of stuff. We should expect more from a man.
He said, but
y'all gotta take these gestures, you know, what they are. It's a nice gesture. He didn't have to do it.
And you also just proved that he was telling the truth. Because he said that he was showing you that, you know, no matter what, he'll be there, he can provide for you and all that. He gave you $40 for gas. And your argument is, well, he's not there, he's not providing like he said he would, because my car takes $50.
No, she's saying that he's insinuating that the reason why she was a dancer was because she had financial hardship, and she's saying she don't have financial hardship as to why she was a dancer.
That's not what I'm talking about.
Oh.
I'm not talking about that at all. I'm talking about what she just said right here.
Oh, okay.
Story. Financial hardship, absolutely not. He's gave me $40 for my gas tank. It takes $50, and we.
I'm focusing on that because he said he put money in her tank. He gave her money for gas to help her out.
Yes.
Right? So I'm saying for her to say, oh, that's a cool story, means that once you say somebody's just telling a story, you're disqualifying a lot of what they're saying. But you just proved right now he was telling the truth. He did, in fact, put gas in your tank like he said he did. Oh. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, I'm not even talking about that part.
We on the same page. I think we just locked in at different points of the conversation. Yeah. So because I was like, oh, you're cooking, but that's not what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about that. He was like, why did you let me fill it up? And I was like, well, it's okay. Like it's.
And now you just disqualified your whole statement.
He offered to fill it up. But you didn't want him to fill it up, and now you mad because he gave you $40 instead of $50?
Wait, hold on, play it back. I'm gonna play it back one more time.
He gave me $40.
Hold on.
Financial hardship, absolutely not. He's gave me $40 for my gas tank. It takes $50, and we talked about that. He was like, why did you let me fill it up? And I was like, well, it's okay. Like it's just $10. I can do it.
Yeah.
And then.
Wait, so you stopped him from filling up the tank and then tried to throw it back at him, saying, oh, like he's talking all this. He only put 40 in there. The gas tank takes 50. But you just told us right now you stopped him from filling it up.
If you're going to be humble, if you're going to try to play humble and modest, play through those traits all the way through. Not to the point where you get what you want and then you try to throw it in that man's face. Because if a man is offering you to give you a full tank, just take the full tank.
Because she tried to weaponize it back at him. Yeah. He only gave me 40. That's how much you only allowed him to give you.
And he bought me a $65 PlayStation camera. That is all the money that he spent on me.
He didn't have to. $65 PlayStation camera. And why is y'all camera $65 PlayStation?
Dude, their controllers are $60 or $70.
Dang.
Yeah. $65 in this economy. Yeah, it don't go a lot, but shoot, I'll take
garbage bill.
I'll take it.
For him to sit here and say that I am going through trauma and I am going through financial hardship that I need saving from is a little bit precocious. So my heart is pounding. I'm trying so hard to stay calm, and
can I respond?
I'm
to
just
that,
tired of being. You can.
Wait. No, hold on. You just missed something while you was laughing. You just missed something. You just missed something very important.
Okay.
Because now it's starting to show how she operates as a person. She's she does things and doesn't want to be called out for it. But then if he does it, she doesn't want him to do it.
She lacks accountability.
Because listen, what was happening when he was telling his side of the story? She kept interrupting, right? Trying to jump in, right? Yeah. I'm done. It's my turn. It's my turn. But now look what happens when he tried to do it back.
She's the queen of deflection.
Look what happens when he tried to do it back. Watch.
My heart is pounding. I'm trying so hard to stay calm, and
can I respond?
I'm just tired of being.
I can wait.
You can.
You was just doing what he was just doing.
Mm.
I'm just at this point. I'm just tired of people like playing with me. I want financial elevation. I want financial security.
We gotta stop pausing
somewhere. But at the end of the day, for you to sit here and act like you spent all this money on me and you're actually helping me and you're be there for me, and you haven't done any of those things. He told me there was a lot of other little tidbits in the middle of that, where it was like he wanted me to deposit my check into his account and I get an allowance off of that. No.
Lady. Listen to me when I say this. He was trying to teach you how to properly invest. He was teaching you how to invest.
Look at this man's face.
He was teaching you.
I feel so bad for him.
He was teaching you how to invest.
She's coming off as if he trying to pimp her out.
He was teaching you how.
Oh my gosh.
He was showing you passive income. That's what she was.
Not once did he say he spent Googop's worth of money on you. Not once did he say you were severely struggling to where he just insisted on helping you. He literally said, I'm showing her how to make passive income. I'm showing her how to make money and do investments outside of other things.
You know how crazy, dude, we did passive income. Our homeboy told us to invest in these NFTs. So we gave him the money. We got to the site. He put the NFT on there and then he gave us the account. Bro, we made so much more money off of the investment by just listening to him that when it was time for us to cash out, we was up. We were up.
Yeah, we only invested like
a couple hundred and got thousands back. Yeah. And it's because there's some people out there, it's investments. He taught you how to do passive income. That's what he was trying to
go back and do it. No,
I wouldn't go back and do it now in this economy, but
no, not in this economy.
Yeah, he taught you passive income.
I'm not working to have an allowance off my thing. That wasn't a cap. That wasn't a cap. My mom was on. You were on speaker. My mom was there. So if you guys want to, ask my mother, we could do that. So yeah, that was something that was said. Also, he's leaving in November because he's on contract for his job. He told me that I was supposed to go with him.
Go where?
Wherever he goes. I'm in nursing school. That wasn't going to happen. He was convinced that I was going to change my mind come November. I pay for school out of pocket. I go to a private.
You know what you're describing? You're describing a provider. Because he was.
I understand that. I understand that he's a provider, but I do agree with that sentiment. If he did tell her like, I could see him saying like, "Oh, you're supposed to come with me" as like a flirty thing, like whatever. Like that's fine. But if he actually did say like, "You're supposed to come with me," and he expects her to
drop everything.
I'm not saying he does, but if that was the scenario where he expected her to drop everything to come and follow behind him, Hey, some women will do it, some will not. But I don't think that would have been a smart decision for her.
It wouldn't have been a smart decision, but
finish school first. At least
finish school, but you're trying to paint this as a negative thing, and there's gonna be people that paint he's controlling.
He ain't controlling nothing. She ain't let him do nothing.
I'm gonna tell you now, if you're a Christian, if you're a believer in Christ, and you're a believer in the Bible, and I'm gonna say this, if you're the believer of a Bible, and you feel like this is what describes a controlling man, a man that wants power, that wants women to be that, I guarantee you, if you went back in time and you went to Jesus Christ himself, or any of the prophets, or any of the preachers back in those days, and you tried to pose this argument as a believer, and this is a fact, they would look at you like you were the most insane person on the planet.
You wouldn't have no rights to argue.
They wouldn't even let you argue this.
You wouldn't have no rights to argue.
Because providing, this is what the man's supposed to do. He's supposed to provide.
School. So it's pretty expensive. So I'm not going to just drop
he tried to teach you how to
just because I found a match on a dating show that isn't comfortable with me at all. There was another thing as well where he said I wasn't his typical type. Actually, Micah was.
Micah from the same...
Yes.
Okay.
The one that he had to choose between.
Micah!
You screaming for?
What you
screaming for?
Why choose me if I wasn't...
She not in the room. She's screaming like that for...
Your type is because he liked my answers. That's what I was told, and that's what he said on the show as well.
You're so funny.
And then
I really wanted Micah to win. That's why.
Okay.
And then try to drag me through the mud to make yourself feel better and yourself secure. I wasn't going to be a part of that roller coaster ride. I'm not going to feed your ego because you can't handle what you chose. And I was chosen. So I'm not a fan of that. Also, he told me by the end of the summer I would have to get off birth control because this is his last year that he was going to plan to have a child. I have a 10-year-old. I'm not trying to have a kid by nobody that's not my husband. So that was a thing. And all these things that were said to me, he's piling up on top of me in a short amount of time. So it just feels like a roller coaster ride that I'm on. And I'm
okay. That I get that part.
Yeah.
In fairness, like that is crazy. Now, again, we don't know how the conversation went.
Yeah.
But it does seem like you're telling her a lot of stuff in such a short amount of time.
2 weeks, bro.
But then again, I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt of we don't know how the conversation went.
Right.
But to give fairness for her, I do see what she's saying.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to just be okay with everything that's being said and done. Like, no.
So what made you block him? Or how many times was he blocked? I guess I should ask that question as well.
Just this last time. Like, I've tried. Like, because it was always be like, oh, well, I was talking to you as a friend in confidence. And I was, I reached out and I was asking for advice. And I'm like, okay, maybe he doesn't fully understand, like, what he's saying or what he's doing or how he's moving.
Did you interpret that to him?
That's okay. And I've been in that situation. Like he said, like he asked me, like, have you ever dated a guy that never dated someone that's been in the entertainment world? And it's kind of crazy because it's like that was so long ago and here we are talking about it again. So it's like,
no.
Okay, so.
It was 4 years ago.
Oh,
Actually, no, it was just last April. You're still in it.
I told him, like, yeah, I used to date a guy that was Jehovah's Witness and he was kind of walking out on his faith and he was dipping back and forth. So he made it very hard for me as well. So we ended up parting ways and I told him too, like, I'm okay. I'm open enough to tell you anything that you want to know before you to sit in my face and tell me.
Wait, so you almost caused a Jehovah's Witness to walk out of his faith, right? That's...
I'm not going to pull all that.
No. I'm just saying off of what she said. Not saying she caused it, but you said your Jehovah's Witness ex was in conflict from walking out on his faith because of this, right? So let me play it back because you're looking at me crazy. Let me make sure she said it.
Yeah.
Because you looking at me crazy.
I told him, like, yeah, I used to date a guy that was Jehovah's Witness and he was kind of walking out on his faith and he was dipping back and forth. So he made it very hard for me as well.
Yeah, but you're saying he was walking out on his faith because of her.
Well, we only know him in relations to her. And so... I'm not saying she's the cause of him walking out of faith, but this was... See, like, now I can't even word what I was trying to say because I get what you're saying. Mm-hmm. I'm not pinning it on her, but in your relationship, this is something that technically is him. It's conflicting with his faith. There could be other things. But this is something that was conflicting with his faith. And now you have another man, this is conflicting with his moral integrity of it, because he doesn't know how to process it. So that's 2 times now that there are men that do not know how to handle this situation when they're dealing with an adult entertainer. You can't weaponize, you can't label it as it's just these men are the reason, like they're making it difficult, they're making it harder. No, it's because what's attached to you is something that is very difficult to play around with.
Not only that, you have to you got to check your ego. Like just because you say it's sweet and it's not sweet to somebody else, you can't like indulge in your ego so heavily to where that you can't even see or hear what the other side is trying to tell you.
Right.
Because you're set in your ways.
Right.
So we ended up parting ways, and I told him too, like, I'm okay. I'm open enough to tell you anything that you want to know. But for you to sit in my face and tell me that I'm lying to you is like, what's the point of even talking about anything? Okay. So it just got to a point where it was just like a snowball. Like, it was so good in the beginning. Like, it was so good. Like, we had so much fun. Like, and then it was just like, Crush. Reginald came out. You know, like, it was like and he's always like, I'm transparent. I'm this is me. Take me as I am. But then he would turn around and be like, well, you got to do this, or what about this? Like, he was saying how he wanted to have threesomes all the other times, and I was like, well, I don't really, like, I've been in situations where, you know, I had fun, but that's not something that I wanted to do.
Reggie
Poofta.
Reggie, is she lying?
Dang.
Was you crashing out, buddy? Threesomes? Oh.
So it was like, why even, like, I'm getting into my head where I'm like, why am I even here? Like, this is not even something that you want. You're talking about how you're a bachelor, you're in your prime, and you got women sponsoring you. And that's when I said, well, if you got women sponsoring you, that's nothing for me, love. That's nothing for me.
So y'all both flexing on being horrible people. This is crazy, bro.
We can be on the same page, and for him to sit here and make it seem like I'm going through all this financial struggle where I'm looking for money, or I would do anything for money, is like absolutely absurd.
Some people get into that entertainment for money, and then some people do it because they're just bored and that's what they ended up doing or whatever. But
here's how this is gonna look bad on you, right? Either you went into the entertainment the entertainment type of thing for the money, stop, you messing. Gosh, dang!
I thought of Demon Slayer. That's why
you be messing my point. I didn't think of Demon Slayer. I was thinking about Demon Slayer.
But go ahead, finish.
I forgot it.
You say she either went into the entertainment industry for.
I'll come back.
Because that's not ever how I come off to anybody. Like, I want my man to be my partner, provide, do the things that we can do together. But I'm not going to also take
I can't think of it.
The whiplash and the trauma and the back and forth, the negativity. And then in his eyes, it's like, well, if we get through this in 2 weeks, we'll be together forever. And I'm like, bro, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't think it. I grew up on love doesn't hurt. And if it does hurt.
No, love does hurt. Love does hurt.
Indeed, it does.
And you know what? The hurt is what makes the love stronger. Love is going to hurt.
Love does not hate.
It doesn't hate.
Love is kind.
But that don't mean love don't sting. That don't mean love don't have its moments where it crushes you. Here's how you know love is gonna hurt. When it says when a man gets married, he's supposed to leave his family and cling to his wife. There's gonna be some hurt when you stop going around the people that you want to go around every single day, and now you have to start showing more attention towards this person than your mama, your sister, blah, blah, blah. It hurts. Just like your wife has to leave her family and come be with you as a husband. It's going to hurt because her attachment to her family has to make it has to be stretched, because now she has to take a portion of that love and give it to you that she was giving it to them. So it's going to hurt somewhere. Somebody's going to feel some type of way. Love does hurt. The point I was making about the entertainment thing was, to say that, oh, I'm not doing this for the money, it's going to put you in a weird position, because there's two reasons why you would be doing it. Either A, you were doing it because you guys were making money off of it. That's why you guys kept doing it, meaning that you would in fact do anything for money up to that level. Or B, y'all were doing it because y'all were just some freaky people, and that was y'all little kink.
Yeah, because if you like dancing, you
don't have to
be that
exotic dancing or
and
whatever.
If she does, there's gentleman clubs, and it's the same thing at that point. It's the same thing.
So that's the point I'm making, is either you did it for the money, which is you're doing anything for money, because at that point the only thing that you got up is like murder or drugs at that point, so crime, or you did it because this is what you like to do,
and you could have turned it into a hobby by dancing in a studio instead.
And this is your hobby, which is still a crazy hobby to have. I don't care how anybody feels about it. Adult entertainment is still it's immoral at the end of the day, but who knows?
It's not out of betrayal. And for him, I just felt like every time I turned around, it was like a stab in the back. Like, you're supposed to be my partner, you're supposed to be my friend, you're supposed to. So it's like you're reaching out to so and so.
Wait, you're saying you're supposed to be my partner, and then he's giving you the game plan for you guys to be lifelong partners, and you called him out for that? All right.
So about me, but I didn't even market myself that way.
Reggie, you not safe either, though. We not on your side either.
You're going against me already. So it's like you want to talk about it, but when I'm talking to you, it's like one ear and out the other.
Yeah.
So it's like, what are we talking about?
Okay. So I guess what was the final straw that?
Wait, she not Arlette. We needed to hear him address her claims.
I'm pretty sure he's going to.
You said to block him and you guys to no longer speak.
So we did a YouTube channel.
Okay.
Well, we did a video and we had a blast. But at first I told him, like, we could be friends. We don't have to do the romantic part of it. We could literally just be friends and just, do business, do YouTube. I'm down for that. He was like, absolutely not. Like, drop the L-bomb. Love. Told me he loved me, and he just couldn't work with someone that he had deep feelings for that deeply with, and just be friends. So I said, okay, we'll try it again. So we did the video, we had a good time, which also in the video I caught, because I was like, oh, I don't know, I think I said something like, oh, you like me or whatever, and he was like, or we were talking about doing business with people that you love, right? And he was like, well, like on the camera, he was like, well, it's a deep like. And I was like, because I'm an observant woman, okay? Like, I don't let nothing slide. I may not speak all the time, but
are you trying to say he love bombed you? Are you saying he was love bombing you?
So is it that he was coming on too strong for you? Or was it that he couldn't get over the thing? Or is it both? I don't know. This is confusing.
Yeah, I hear it. I feel it. So when I walk into a room, I'm definitely the most quietest one in the room because I am super observant. Like, I am. So it's like.
So then how come you couldn't observe that he was teaching you passive income?
To be you could be observant, but if you're not paying attention to what you're observing, then you're not observing.
I can observe paint drying, but that don't mean that I'm observing the spider that's walking across the paint.
Being observant doesn't mean you're only using one sense, which is your sight. You still have to be able to listen. You still got to be able to pay attention.
Because you were so observant, you didn't notice that the man was teaching you passive income. It's crazy.
Like, I caught that. I sniffed it, and I was like, okay. He's not trying to own it in public, but he wants to own it in private. That's a problem for me. I never said it back, and I never felt that way. So I told him from the jump, like, I don't speak about things that I don't feel. So, and I'm very honest. I don't have a lot of friends because I'm very honest. So I literally, like, to be in this situation, it kind of was like I dodged a bullet to get shot, like with a shotgun. Like, that's kind of how I took it. Like, I literally, this was crazy. This was a crazy experience for me because it was like up and down and fast. Okay. It was like a burning ball of hay. Just, it went up in flames really fast. And I was really, really happy. Like, I told my mom about him. I told my grandparents, like, everything. They were like, about the confidence thing, they were like, fuck him. You know, they're old. And my family comes from, we don't have everything. So we grind out, we get it, and we work hard. We're hardworking.
Okay, so what this is this, when people do this in conversations, is they make the point and then they try to garner sympathy to support their point. So what they'll do is they'll make their claims, but then they'll also go, you know, because I've been hard, I've been through this, you don't know my past, you don't know my struggle. It's like, that's cool. We don't know that. But at the end of the day, right now, you're making claims that he did something to you, and he's making claims that you did something to him. And you guys are both saying that he did this, he's wrong, he's this. Adding your past into this means kind of nothing to this, because it's cool you have a family like that. That's great. But we're talking about stuff that you did to him and that he did to you. Your family only knows your side of things. So they're only going to have a biased response to what's happening.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't agree with telling.
Yeah. This part right here is nah.
Family, like,
your family's gonna do their job and support you.
Technical school, nursing, you know, everybody works really hard. So it's like, for him to sit and say, like, any of those things were just wild to them, and it's kind of just wanted to avoid him. Like, I just didn't see why he wanted me in his life when he had so many different things that I just didn't align with. Okay. It just wasn't.
Because he was adapting because you were something he wanted to seek after. That's literally what you're describing. He was changing or fixing or adjusting things in himself to support the fact that you are now a different person who he's trying to make a important factor in his life.
Match in the real world.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so it's so much stuff that she just said that I got to, like, try to piece it in my head to remember what she said. So I'm gonna start at the beginning, because, like, a beautiful word is context. So I'm gonna give context to everything that she just said. Okay. So pretty much with the $40 thing and with the PlayStation camera thing, why did I send $40? Because she said, I need gas. So she requested $40. I said, send, and that's what happened with that. Why did I pay for PlayStation camera? Hey, we get a game together. I have my camera. You have yours. Oh, you didn't have one. Here is a camera. So I don't know if it just came off like that when I was saying, like, she needed whatever. But this is what I'm saying when I was leading, saying, okay, we can do gaming together. Here's a camera. You need gas. Here's a camera. Like, I didn't just send, hey, here's $40. So the whole financial hardship thing was her word, said it. I'm not just going to, you know what I mean? So that was that. She said so much that I got to go through piece by piece. Okay, so she said about the whole confidence thing, right? So that's cap. So it's like, why would I just say, like, you're not confident? Like, where does it come from? Like, could any of her actions perhaps made me feel like she wasn't confident?
We were referencing the show.
You see? And this is why
gotta stop speaking out of turn.
But this is also proving my point of, I feel like there's reasons for her to say, I'm always the quietest person in the room, I'm very observant, I'm all this, but then you also just told him you can wait your turn after you also tried to interrupt him before. You're giving a lot about your character now.
Yeah.
You're giving a lot about your character right now.
Now he only got 8 minutes to debunk
Yep, and you're not letting him. You just gave us that whole long point, and it's his turn to talk. And he's saying, let's get some context. But you weren't saying that before. He's giving context to information you put out. And now that he's starting to add information, you suddenly have information that you want to put in as well. Yeah, why didn't you give it to us from the start?
Y'all gotta stop doing that. People have to stop doing that. If you're not going to have a conversation, you need to get up and leave the room. It's a conversation between three people.
Yeah.
Like, why would I just say, like, you're not confident? Like, where does it come from? Like, could any of her actions perhaps made me feel like she wasn't confident?
We were referencing the show.
No, we were not referencing the show.
Yeah, we were.
It got to the point where after that confidence, because that was like one of our big first arguments, and then we kind of got over it. She said to me, like, you know, my friends were saying, like, yeah, you probably seem unconfident on the show, so that's what he got. So I could see where you're coming from with that. So she got where I was coming from with that, but now it's like, it's switching it up now. So anything that I said with love, so the whole November thing, yes, my contract's over in November. Hey, I'm really digging you. I'm loving what's going on. Like, I want you to be with me when I leave. Not just, in November, you're coming with me. It's like, come on. And like, we got to give context to what's going on. You know what I mean? It's like, I said it in love, right? And then it's like, everything that I said is just like, it's getting flipped. Like I was just like the freaking villain man. No, like I said it on some, I want you with me. I was with you for 3 weeks straight or whatever it was, 2.5 weeks. I'm loving it, loving the time. Like I said, right along doing all the stuff. I want you with me. Yeah. So that's why I said that. As far as the whole threesome thing, that was a conversation. It's like, oh, you used to be then it was like, once we got comfortable with the whole dancer thing, oh, you're a dancer. Did you ever dibble and dabble maybe? So it's like anything, I'm not just, you know what, we got, it's like, she just keeps on. It's like, everything has context, you know what I mean? So it's like anything that I said, so I could be like, yo, Nova, like, I want to do like, even like, y'all, you know what, this like, so y'all did like the recap. I was like, we could have probably been on that recap. Oh, you just want to go for clout? It's like, I'm trying to build us up. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm speaking out of love, she's taking everything that I'm said. And wait, the last one, the whole baby thing. I was saying that, yes, by the end of this year, I said by the end, so it was June. So I say by like June 2025, like I want to have a kid. But I know I'm not going to have a kid. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So yeah, I want you to have a kid with me, but it's not like, you better take that out because I'm going to, it's like, come on, Nova. Like, it got to be context with what's going on. You know what I mean? So it's like, here's the thing. Like, I get it. You know, it's like when someone doesn't like you, they're going to say all the bad things. That's cool. But I want to highlight some other things. Like the personality that I'm showing now, like this is the personality of like how we match and all these other great things. And I'm going to keep saying it. My biggest thing, if we have a conversation, we can get through anything. It's like, how do you plan on growing with someone? And it's like, you don't want to go through the hard conversations. Like we were going through the hard things. Like, yeah, you're saying I was seeking counsel. Yeah, because it was real for me. You know what I mean? It was real for me. Like, being together every single day, like for 2 to 3 weeks straight, like I was feeling the love, you know?
I already know what's going to happen. People are going to say, well, why didn't y'all pause and do all that talking over the girl like you did, or over him like you did with the girl? Listen, people, hey, I'm trying to listen because she made some claims and this is the opportunity for him to respond to those claims. If he would have made his claims first, we would have talked all over his thing too. So it's not because we picking a side, it's because we're trying to get the information.
She talked the good majority of this video, this episode. So
yeah, so I already know. And when that comment posts, I'm gonna ping you. I'm gonna make sure you stand out because that means you didn't watch this whole video to hear me say this.
Things like, yeah, you're saying I was seeking counsel. Yeah, because it was real for me. You know what I mean? It was real for me. Like being together every single day, like for 2 to 3 weeks straight, like I was feeling the love. You know what I'm saying? And I wanted to express it. It's like, oh, you're just trying to say that to use me. It's like, what can I say? It's like I can't say anything because everything is used against me. And it's like, I'm trying to learn you to learn how to love you better. And it's like, you know, it's like taking this like some attacks, and it's like it gets to the point where it's like, dang, I just like I said, it's just everything that I was saying to her was out of love. So I don't want to make it seem like I was just some crazy guy just talking crazy. Like I was really trying to build her up. And when I was talking about financial hardship, I'm not trying to say it like she's a financial hardship. Like anything that she expressed to me, like if she was going through that, I was making the point of, well, this is how we make passive income. We can do this together. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't trying to say it like demean her or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to say it like how I said it to her, which I felt I said it in love. Like, we can get through this. You know what I mean? So I wasn't trying to, it never was my intention. You know what I'm saying? I think I don't want to keep saying the word trauma or trigger or whatever like that, but I think the overall piece of this is like, because, conversation is big for me. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you can push a narrative and like, maybe I was pushing it past the bandwidth of what she wasn't ready to handle, as she said, like 6 years ago, stuff like that. But I just met you. So, 6 years ago feels like right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like.
That is a fair point. And technically it wasn't 6 years ago. She just said in April she just dropped another video. Yeah. So that's.
I see, like, I get both sides. But with the communication thing, to push somebody that you don't know to have a conversation the way that you want to have a conversation that soon is kind of risky, because you can push people away because you still don't know. Had you seen this side of her sooner, then you would know how far to go with her. But because you didn't see this side of her sooner, it's kind of like you're playing with fire a little bit. Yeah. The way that you would want somebody to come and communicate with you, sometimes you got to take that and minus it by like 25%.
Yeah. So for him, it's a lack of people's capacity for conversation. Yeah. That's his biggest flaw in this is he's not understanding the boundaries of how much people can actually take in the conversation.
And it doesn't mean people aren't willing to have a conversation with you, but there's give and take. And sometimes people, like, cause I was the same way. He'll want to have a conversation, and sometimes I wouldn't be ready for the conversation, or I wouldn't like mentally be ready for the conversation. And a lot of times it'll just be him speaking and I won't have anything to say because I'm trying to process everything and all that other kind of stuff. But, everybody's different. You just take it with a grain of salt. But
yep.
Anything I said was with overstanding in love. It was big energy. It was just like, hey, I want to get to learn her. I want to see how I can love her properly. Like there's a saying, it's like a man knows within the first couple months if he want to marry you. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but if you move intentional, which is how I was doing, then you can grow into that. Mm-hmm. So even kind of like the turmoil or the downfall of it, I reached out for more advice. Like, hey, if there's anything I can do or whatever. And that's why I say I want to say thank you to you guys, because you let me know, like, if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we can give you advice if you need advice, but it will get to the point where it's like you guys, excuse me.
And my thing is this. Look at how they both approached the situation. When he was having problems with the relationship, he said it multiple times in this time. He asked her how he should be. He asked her for her perspective and how he should handle it. He asked Artist BM and Arlette for their perspective on how she should handle it. And he sought advice on how to fix it even after you blocked him. You just said your whole family just said F that dude. And unless you did and you didn't say it. But right now, what we know is you only told your family about it. But at no point have you said that you tried to reach out to him and ask him for his perspective or how you should handle it or interpret it. So it seems to me like he did a lot more. He did a lot more to make the relationship work than you did.
Yeah. And the whole family, I don't agree with the family thing simply because family, I feel like, in my opinion, family is always going to be biased. Unless you have family members that are like unbiased about the situation and they'll give you the raw truth, whether you're right or wrong. It's easier for your family to forgive you for something that you did wrong towards him versus them forgiving him for what he's done wrong towards you.
Mm-hmm. Both of us have to decide whether it's going to be a yay or a nay. We don't want to force it. It's just like naturally, genuinely see what happens. And so it genuinely and naturally led to this point, which is unfortunate, but it was real.
Okay. All right. Well, any final words from either one of you guys?
It's like a tractor on fire, just burnt out.
Save out there.
Dang.
I'm gonna, of course, say final words. So I want to say that if there was a moment, you know what I mean, when I made Nova feel like she wasn't enough, definitely did not mean to do that. Like sometimes you can find like multiple women in one woman, you know what I mean? So like this woman supports me, this woman loves me, but if you find someone love and supports you, that's like 3 in 1, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there definitely was a lot of her traits. Like I said, I don't know if it came off like I'm trying to beat her down, definitely not, but there's a lot of things about her that resonated with me extremely well, you know what I mean? And I do truly believe if she would have had like a little bit more fight that this could have worked out, but our cards was meant to end like this, so I accept that.
I respect it.
Nova, you're good? Any final?
I would just say that for Reggie and moving forward, I think that he does need to apply a little more grace, because the grace that he has is hourly, and some people need more time than that. I tried as hard as I could, but I did feel beaten down. You know, I felt like, what is the point? Like, why am I here if I'm always defending myself, or, just kind of coming back always from like a ricochet. Like I'm always, bouncing back up. It got draining. But I think if he just took his time with me as much as I was taking my time with him, because a lot of people don't play about their character and who they are as a person, and to have someone play with your character and who you are, that stings. And I don't think he, even to this day, realizes that. It's kind of like something brushed under the rug, but you can't brush someone, who they are, what they stand for, 10 toes down, how they move. You can't brush that under the rug or make your own story to fit you. So yeah, that's all. I wish him the best. I
got something to say, but I'm waiting till the end.
Not for me.
Okay. All right. Well, any upcoming projects from either one of you that we could be on the lookout for?
Right now, I'm just focusing on school and my baby. That's it pretty much. I'm not doing anything. I might have some photo shoots coming up, but that's about it. I'm gonna get back out there.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good luck with school.
Thank you.
Reggie, how about for yourself?
Yeah, like I said, so during my quote unquote depressive time, I've been just kind of working hard. So I do music, do motivational music. So I plan on releasing my third music album project this summer, Smooth Motivation. Check it out on all your streaming platforms. I actually have a business partner, CEO Rose. He works for NIL, like athletes. So we're working on kind of doing things with teaching athletes kind of how to project themselves for the future as far as financial literacy, setting themselves up for success. Yeah, but overall, I want to say that thank you. Great experience. Thank you guys for having me for sure. Thanks Nova, honestly, for showing up and just kind of giving it a try. And yeah, just thankful.
All right. Well, thank you both for your time today. And thank you everyone at home for tuning in. We'll catch you all next time.
Okay. I'm going to say this. It tells a lot about when you got two people on the stand and they're both trying to present the truth. A person that is going to be a person that I'm always going to be more leaning towards, or at least being able to believe it, is the person that, while you're also pleading your case to defend yourself, you also have no shame in admitting what you did wrong, or admitting the good qualities of the person that you're going against. Because that means to me that you haven't painted this person in a light as a villain. And so Reggie's part of, even though they just had this whole back forward, not character assassinating the girl and still giving her the benefit of the doubt of, she was a good person, she did do this, she did have these good qualities, she did do this, even though we're having this disagreement, that shows a lot about him as a person. Unfortunately, on Nova's end, through the whole thing, it was, I'm on defense, he did this, 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 he did this. And even at the end, where you had the opportunity to not paint yourself as somebody trying to assassinate his character. Sorry, y'all, our camera, we had to change it, but it doesn't matter. Our thing's tripping, but we're gonna just get to this point. We, at the end of the day, we don't know how their conversations went. We don't know if everything Reggie said is true, and we don't know if everything Nova said is true, because there's always going to be stuff in the middle. But I did not like how, even to the end, it was still, he did this, he needs to fix this, he did this, he needs to fix this.
No accountability.
Because there's no accountability towards your end, because you're not admitting the fact, all the good things that the man actually did. So it comes off as you're assassinating his character, or you're demonizing him, or you're just painting him that he was the reason, the flaw of the relationship. But that's just my opinion. you guys can feel otherwise, whatever. You got anything else you want to say?
I would say like it was one part I think she took accountability for.
Yeah.
When she was talking to her family and friends and stuff like that about him, and she said she could understand some of the things in his side, but overall, I feel like it is best for both sides to stay stoic as possible. You can still tell your truth, but not be like offensive or or insulting or anything like that. That comes with communication, and that comes with just being the bigger person overall. Because when you go with the argument style that was displayed here, it feels like retaliation because he made her feel like he was assassinating her character. It came off as she's gonna do the same, but I'm gonna amplify it more because it's a woman's voice is stronger than a man's. I'm gonna just say that now. A woman's voice is a lot stronger than a man's, and it sucks. It's unfortunate because men constantly have to go through this cycle of like defending who they are as men and their character. It's a lot easier to assassinate a man's character than a woman, in my opinion. This is my opinion, but you know, people like to make the argument otherwise. We shouldn't do it to either party. Then too, also, the one thing I can say is when it comes to character, if somebody's telling you something that they're seeing that your character is exuding, before you get defensive, analyze it from their perspective or what they're seeing and dissect it for yourself. Because sometimes the things that people tell you about your character is something that can either save you or hurt you later on in life. There's a reason why there's people in this world that are lonely by themselves, because their character does not allow them to be around people to grow.
All right, y'all. That's it. Peace.